Hello. Right, picture 17. I've just been looking back over a couple of these, and there seems to be a bit of crackling going off. I apologise for that. I'm trying to fathom out what it is, but it's not picking up through the webcam, so I'm not sure exactly what it is. So I apologise for the crackling and distortion. I'm trying to keep it to a minimum, and hopefully I'll get to the bottom of it. Right, picture 17 will be appearing in your screens now. Right, this is kind of it's a picture. It's not the original name of the pub, and I can't seem to find out what the original name of the pub was. So if you do know, please email me and let me know. It'd be quite nice. But it made me laugh actually because it's called Faras, and it just reminds me of the trousers my dad used to wear, or the same name. So I had to take this, but it's mainly for the street at the side of it. The street running up at the side. Offhand, I can't remember what the street name was. I'll find it on a map, but it's where my old school used to be, Huntsman's Garden School, which was actually built and named after Benjamin Huntsman, who kind of built the area up in the village when he, I suppose with William Huntsman, when they did the steelworks and everything and built it all around about in the 1700s. And so the school was named after him, and it kind of like provided schooling for the for the village and the streets and the surrounding streets that were built. And I think it was knocked down in 2001, I believe, or 2000, and then obviously the little Attercliffe village as it is now was built, which is the little streets behind which are there now, and obviously you got the Telewest building, so it's quite a little bit of an estate on there. But anyway, this is it's quite a long one, so it might be in two parts, this one. But this I'm going to read it as I've done with some others. Read it as I've written it. So anyway, this is the Faras pub, not the original name anymore. But I do remember that this pub used to have multicoloured lights, like Christmas lights back then. They used to be kind of like hang outside. I think they were on the wall and on poles that went all the way around, kind of a bit like a little forecourt sort of thing. So with benches. But that's about all I can remember of it. But the road to the right was where my first school was in Sheffield, when that I can remember anyway, which was Huntsman's Garden School. It was called an original, I suppose I put 19th century sandstone building. It was the older part of the school was once split into girls and boys. And on the walls outside, you could still see the two sexes carved into the sandstone in their own hand. That's true, that. Yeah, they used to have like girls and boys, and it was carved into the sandstone. Instead of putting a plaque there of of each end, sort of thing. I forgot all about that. I only went to the kiddies part of it, which was true. I only actually went to the nursery part as such, or the I suppose the younger kids one. I always remember the rooms had really thick walls painted blue and high windows which opened outwards by pulling on cords. Do you remember that? They used to have like a window, and it used to be like a metal curved spike used to come over, and they used to pull on that cord, and it used to wind around on the spike, so the window used to tilt at the top. It used to tilt open at the top. Strange what you remember. The heavy red painted doors had shiny brass ring handles that fitted flush in with the door until pulled out and twisted to open them. I always remember that. It was like a little square brass plate, and there was like a little indent inside, and there was like little rings, so you'd have to put your fingers in, pull the ring, and then turn it to open the massive heavy door. That's cool. Don't see them anymore. In the corridors there were shiny polished wooden floors, and in the main hall the floor was made up of slats of wood laid side by side, making up a zigzag pattern. Yeah, I remember sitting on that in my pants when I was doing PE because it was that cold. Great. Anyway, there were lots of doors in the hall, each one leading into a classroom. That's strange, that as well. Yeah, I think it was about 5 or 6 doors or something like that. And I think it was when I suppose assembly came, or when there was anything, all these doors used to open and all the kids had to come out in single file or running out before they got belted round the back of the head for running out. Anyway, where are we? Each morning these doors would open and everybody would come out into a straight line for assembly. We would have to sit on the floor cross-legged, starting at the front with the youngest class. It was always cold and smelt of sweaty kids' feet. Yeah, that's about right. And the rest. Anyway, we always had our quick Christmas party in here and nativity play as well. At the Christmas party, you were always asked to contribute something towards it, and I always took either spam or jelly. Do you know, that's amazing. That I never understood that. You'd have kids there with salmon and tuna and you know, some really nice bowl of fruit, and I used to take a tin of bloody spam, you know, or corned beef for that matter. It's a hell of an embarrassing. I'd never do it with my kids. Jelly must have been a treat. I put jelly down here. Anyway, where the roof met at the top, there was a small window. We would sit there cramming our faces with crab paste sarnies, butterfly buns and jelly. This was at the Christmas party, knowing that at any time that little window would open and Santa would poke his head through. That was the highlight for me. Christmas time was always a special time, a magical time for me. I've got my mum and dad to thank for that. We may not have had a lot, but we had more magic and spirit than most families, which is true. We didn't have a great deal, I suppose, as most kids didn't, but we certainly had love and the special, you know, feeling of Christmas, and I thank them for that, because that was just great. Because you know, before the Christmas, I can remember, you know, I'd sit for hours looking at the window, you know, here it is, not going to come until you've fallen asleep and stuff. But I always remember, like I said, at the Christmas party, we used to sit there, and we'd all be sat, like, say, you know, at a table, long lines of table. You'll be sat with your class. I'd be sat there, and I'd have me, I think it was a knife and fork, but I remember a spoon. I always took a little dessert spoon with me, and my mum had put my name on a piece of paper in pen, and she'd sellotape it around the end of the handle, so they know it was mine, you know, whatever else I took in. And we'd sit there and we'd like cram, you know, his faces with sarnies and jelly and stuff, or more jelly than sandwiches, until the teacher made you eat sandwiches, but she couldn't have the jelly. And this little circular window met in the apex of the roof at one end, and like I said, at Christmas time, before the Christmas, the way it was playing was sit up the top of there, and you know, they'd be eating away, and somebody'd shout out, "Can you hear him? Can you hear him? He's on the roof! He's on the roof!" And you'd be looking up, you know, all excited and all, you know, and punching and picking each other, you know, look, is he there? Is he there? And whatnot. And it was a highlight just to wait. And then all of a sudden, when they dragged it out for what was like 17 days of is he there? Is he? Can you hear him? He'd appear at the window, and then he'd wave, and then he'd open the window and shout hello kids and you know, and stuff, and we'd all shout hello Father Christmas. Oh, that was brilliant. That to me must be the highlight, I think, of my, I suppose, young kid, you know, I suppose kid life really, because when Christmas came, everything just changed. It was brilliant, and then he used to come down and hand the presents out and stuff. So yeah, it was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. If anybody else remembers that, let me know. Let me know what you took. I bet it weren't bloody spam like I did. Jelly. I don't know why I wrote jelly down here, because I never remember taking any jelly in, unless it was out of date. Oops. Anyway. Where was it? Yeah. Also, I only ever remember wearing shorts to school. Come rain or shine, little green ones with a pocket at the back. I remember that, actually, yeah. I used to have it was like a really short pair of shorts with a little pocket at the back, and I'd keep a soldier or a stone or a pebble or whatever. It was never money. Well, I don't think it was. I ended up losing it. Yeah, with the pocket at the back and knee-length nylon grey socks. What a fashion trend, eh? What a trendsetter. I could never understand why when walking more than 20 feet that they would be off my feet, trailing underneath. Why is that? Why is it you wear a pair of grey socks, right, grey knee-length socks, and after you've got about 20 feet, 20, 30 paces, they kind of slip down and the front's hanging and tucked underneath your toes at the front. That amazed me. Or I'd walk 5 steps and one would slip down the leg. Anyway, my dad used to tip me upside down and tie the ends together in a knot, so all I could do was shuffle around. I remember that, yeah. He did that, yeah. He used to lay me down on the floor when I used to torment him. He used to pull my socks off, halfway off, and tie a knot in the end. And then I used to run around shuffling, saying I couldn't get up rather than just take them off. I love that. That was fantastic. Cheers, Dad. Anyway, that was part 1 of picture 17. And get ready for part 2.